Hey, pretty babies, what is going on? Checking out an all-new Monday night edition of the RCWR show for January 3rd of 2022. I like how the past couple of shows we've done so far, as this is the second show that we've done for this new calendar year. I have not even gone back and said 2021 yet. So normally every single year, I know many of you guys deal with it yourselves in your own way. You find yourself early on, at least in those first 2 weeks, hell, for some people, even after the first 2 months of the new year, find themselves still repeating the date of the previous year. If you happen to be those type of people that still write checks, you find yourself for that first month at least still writing the previous year, and then you gotta scratch it out, put in those initials, or you just gotta write a whole new check altogether. But I don't know how it is for you guys, but I'm on a roll so far. So we'll see. I'm knocking on wood because normally I struggle a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but normally I struggle a little bit when it comes to the New Year's rolling in. It doesn't really kick in for me, and the fuck ups, it doesn't really kick in for me as far as smooth sailing until really late February. I don't know how it is for you guys. I'd love to know. I'd love to know though. Hope your weekend was fantastic. Mine was pretty good. Yo, we finally got hit with some snow over here though, because over here in the DC metropolitan area, the DMV, it was crazy weather that we were dealing with going into Christmas, even going into the new year. Our weather over here was up in the mid 50s. One of those days, if not two of those days, we damn near hit 60 degrees. I BS you not, we damn near hit 60 degrees. And then wham, all of a sudden we got hit with the snow. And over here, I don't know how it is for you guys, but over here on the East Coast and everything, it began snowing a little bit after 1 in the morning. And basically, you checked out all the news outlets, you were looking at the weather telecast, they all pretty much were saying the same thing, which was, yeah, it's gonna start a little bit after 1 a.m. and it's pretty much gonna be at its heaviest between 4 to 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's not gonna let up until 3-4 in the afternoon. And pretty much from Tuesday forward, as far as dealing with the aftermath, not that much is supposed to be sticking. However, if you're further down south, DC, pretty much going towards Virginia and all that, we're talking about 6, 7, 8, 9, some areas even 10 inches of snow. As a matter of fact, wifey was telling me earlier tonight, I can't remember what part in Virginia, but there was some part in Virginia that actually got hit with 12 inches of this snowstorm that we just had and everything. So yeah, that's what's been going on over here. So luckily, it's kind of one of those type of deals where I didn't have to worry so much about the family going out and doing stuff, dealing with that bad weather. My day job, I was able to do what I needed to do remotely on the computer and everything. So that worked out actually fantastic for me, as well as my classes. I still had my classes that I needed to take, and that's all remote as well. So win-win situation for me. But if you guys are dealing with some inclement weather right now, hopefully you guys, I always tell you every single year when it comes to the snow, yo, if you got to go out there and you got to shovel that bad boy, make sure you don't be all Hercules, and you try to, have your chest all out. You're trying to impress your spouse or whatever, and you shoveling. No, because you put serious strain on your heart and all of that. You don't need to do that. Trust me, there has actually been young people that have actually suffered from heart attacks because of shoveling just nonstop snow. Go out there. I'm not being long-winded about it, but I do legit care about many of you guys. I want to hear from you guys. Want to make sure that you guys, health-wise and all that, you guys are on point. Doesn't matter if you're fit, whatever. Don't be out there acting like a freaking marathon man shoveling that snow. You go out there, pace yourself, right? It ain't going nowhere, especially if it's going to keep on coming down. right? Just pace yourself. Be out there for about, get a good feel. See how you are after about 10 minutes. If you're good after about 10 minutes, take it up to 15 minutes. You still good? Take it up to about 20 minutes. Usually for me, I stop after about 20, 25 minutes. Then I go inside and I recharge for about an hour. And then I go back out and then I do what I need to do again. Same length of time. I have an alarm set and all that. That way I'm not losing track of time and I'm pretty much in and out. Do it just like that, and you guys will definitely be all right. Make sure you're checking up on those elderly neighbors of yours as well. Look, we ain't going to be talking. Oh, hang on a second, guys. A little bit of echo there. All right, we're good now. Not that much to talk about as far as Raw tonight, because when you look at WWE Raw overall, I think we all can be in agreement for tonight's show. A bit of a below average episode. It really was about two matches and two matches only, which was the Fatal 4-Way match to figure out who was going to be the new number one contender to face Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. And then I would give a nod to Damian Priest, Dolph Ziggler for the United States Championship with those stipulations that was applied, which was if Damian Priest gets a count out or if he gets DQ'd, the championship can and will change hands. So those were really it, because other than those two bright spots of tonight's show, everything else was really below average. You know what? I would even give a respected honorable mention to my man Omos and AJ Styles. But outside of those 3 points of observation, everything else was just of a show tonight. Right down to the point. I don't know how many of you guys were keeping track at home, but the lengths of the matches particularly, those were really, whoa, what the hell is going on here? I mean, we're talking about 1 minute match here, 2 minute matches there. It was crazy. It was freaking crazy. Right down to the point. Look, I'm not exaggerating with you guys. But before the main event match for tonight's show, you pretty much were looking at up to that point where all of the matches taken in leading up to the main event match, you were looking at 22 minutes total of in-ring action before the main event. Just stop and think about that. A 3-hour show and you're only getting 22 minutes of in-ring action. Going up to that main event match, it was just, you know, we'll dive a lot more into it in just a hot little bit. But yeah, we're pretty much going to be in and out in regards to the talk of WWE. But to make up I guess to make up for it, if you really want to say that, because this is honestly, it's going to be one of the quickest Raw recaps that we've ever done. I cannot picture myself going 30 plus minutes talking about this week's show, because there really wasn't that much substance to get into. I don't care how many matches you want to put on a show. It's all about the quality at the end of the day. That quality has got to be freaking banging. And if that quality is not banging, yo, you can come at me with 10, 15 matches. You can come at me with all that. Oh, you won't. I'm all about that quality. And if that quality ain't banging, yeah, you can pretty much forget that. So, and that was definitely the main gist when I look at tonight's show overall, was the quality of these such short matches. Very lacking. Very lacking. But again, we'll get into all that in just a hot little bit. So look, check it. You know, if you're an NFL fan, how badass was it to see all of the networks, CBS, ABC, Fox, did I already mention NBC? You know, but basically the major 4 outlets, and even ESPN, even ESPN had showed love as well. But to basically see all the major sports outlets, paying homage to the great John Madden. How cool of a moment was that? If you were to ask me if there was any weakest, honestly, the one that kind of surprised me the most, and I was actually watching it with the missus on Sunday, when we were watching the Sunday night football game on NBC between Aaron Rodgers Green Bay Packers taking on the Minnesota Vikings. But remember, no Kirk Cousins. Cousins was out due to COVID protocols. So the backup, I can't remember the backup's name right now, but he played. And boy, that was a freaking massacre, wasn't it? Those of you that had watched it. But just see everybody that was representing, sharing their thoughts on John Madden and everything. But the one that was kind of most, that was kind of expecting a little bit more. What Al Michaels did. I don't know how many of you guys had checked out what Al Michaels had did, but that was just, that's it? It's like you worked with this guy for at least, what they say, like somewhere between 4 to 7 years. He worked with John Madden, and you're like, wow, this is all Al Michaels has to say. It was a blanket. It was very generic, what he had said. But nonetheless, just to see everybody showing their love, I enjoyed it. I particularly loved what the guys on, it's almost a tie, but I got to give the edge. More to Fox NFL Sunday. I really liked how their presentation was put together. I really, really loved what Howie Long, Jimmy Johnson. I really love, their 2 cents from a distance on the passing of Madden and everything. But good, just seeing all the great tributes that were coming out, and then to see the great tributes that came out for Betty White as well. All of that was fantastic. I know I had told you guys Saturday Night Live was going to be re-airing the 2010 appearance she made on their show, and that all came together because of a Facebook petition. I still remember vividly when all that had went down, so it was really nice to see them pay homage to her and everything. By the way, I'm curious, because I know we talked about Betty White's passing. I'm curious from you guys, how many of you all, based off what I said on last week's show, I'm curious how many of you all actually went on eBay and tried to look into getting a People magazine on that spread that they did for Betty White reaching age 100. Yeah, if you guys didn't check out last week's batch of shows that we put out there, I brought to y'all's attention that there was a People magazine that was getting ready to come out in just a couple of weeks. Definitely this month is getting ready to come out. Where on the front cover, it's Betty White. And it basically reads Betty White celebrating 100 years. And they did a retrospective piece on her. I think there was an exclusive interview that was in there as well. And what was so unique about this is, wait a minute, she's 100. But as we all know, not quite, not for another 15 days or whatever, right? And she passed away at the age of 99. So that's now a collector's item. So if you're into collector's item stuff and all of that, you might want to check that out while copies are still available. And look, not for nothing, I'm not talking about some of the ones that's available on eBay. Some of them are newsstand editions, but there are others that are not newsstand editions. So it doesn't have the little markings, little barcode, none of that stuff. None of that stuff. So peep that out. Peep that out if you are a collector or know somebody that's a collector. Who will win the Rumble? We'll get into that. You know what? I wonder if, I don't even know if we should get into that right now because it still feels so early. Does it not? Does it not? I usually like getting into predictions a little bit later on, like the week of the pay-per-view. That's usually when I start to get into it and everything. So I like the question, but that's honestly something we don't really need to dive into when there's already a boatload of wrestling stuff that we can get into. WWE wasn't the only game in town over the weekend going into the new year. There were other wrestling promotions that were doing their stuff as well. So we'll definitely talk about it in just a hot minute. By the way, I know the biggest talking point right now while we're still thinking about sports and all that, the stuff with Antonio Brown. Look, I am a lifelong NFL fan. When we talk about NFL, we talk about the NBA, we talk about the WNBA from time to time. particular boxing matches, particular MMA fights. We cover all that stuff here from time to time on the show and have been for numerous years now. Let me tell you something. What I saw of Antonio Brown from over the weekend, I'm not going to be long-winded about it. But I do agree with a lot of the sports analysts out there. I do agree with all of their points, as the majority of them are saying, surely this is it for Antonio Brown. Surely this is it for the man. And to that, I just got to double down on that and say, I just don't see. Now, this is me speaking as the football fan. This is me speaking as a guy that has followed multiple NFL teams for multiple years. So I don't have one designated team that I just follow religiously, and that's it. There are multiple teams that I follow, and I'm the same way when it comes to my NBA as well. What I have seen of Antonio Brown from personal experience, because I used to date someone that was bipolar. I've had friends that are bipolar. He is showing me the signs of somebody that possibly is bipolar. And if he is not bipolar, then what's going on with this man must be a case of extreme self-entitlement, and is the end result of an individual that has not been disciplined. You know, it's kind of like when you bring a new pet home, right? You got a new pet, whether it's a puppy or it doesn't matter the age. You bring a new pet home, and you see off the break that as far as potty training goes, they're not on point. So you definitely got to clean that attitude up with the quickness, and you got to let them know off the break, yo, nah, we ain't doing it like that. We are not doing it like that. This is how we're going to do it. This is how it needs to be. But if you're not on top of it at the very beginning of that bad behavior, you just keep letting it slide, then obviously you're going to let that animal continue to do what it wants to do, when it wants to do it, wherever it wants to do it. So you can't exactly throw a freaking fit if you come home one day, you left your pet on the bed, and your whole bed is flooded with piss and poop, okay? Okay, so you can't be mad, because the first thing that needs to click into your mind, especially as far as self-accountability goes, all right, well, have I done my part in really house training this pet, breaking them in and all that? And right, that's how I look at what's going on with the Antonio Brown situation. Definitely his stint. You know, and I've watched the Pittsburgh Steelers for many years. Those that are longtime listeners, or maybe want to even go down the show archives, you can always hear me at some point over these 10 plus years talk about the Steelers, talk about New England Patriots, talk about the Oakland Raiders, talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Look, when I look at Antonio Brown, his attitude and all the shenanigans he was up to in Pittsburgh with the Steelers, and the fact that it wasn't nipped in the bud right then and there, that's on Coach Mike Tomlin and the rest of the crew, the GM. That's on all of those guys collectively. I'm not putting it solely all on them, because at the end of the day, Antonio Brown is a grown-ass man, and he should know better. But this is what happens when you have somebody that is showing the signs of being bipolar, and on top of that, the whole self-entitlement. I mean, we'd be here all night. By now, you guys already know what Antonio Brown, the bad press that he's been given, rightfully so, because he's the one that created the situations that he put himself in, whether it was throwing a freaking piece of sofa from a 16th level of a high-rise building and thank the freaking powers that be of all things that's holy and Lady Luck, a little kid dodged it just by a little bit of that sofa coming down, right? So you got that, the sexual assault allegations, that was all being investigated and all that. Remember that? The fake vaccination cards. And the vaccination card stuff, that all pretty much was a result of him not taking care of somebody he was supposed to break off money to or whatever. And then that brings me to another point. His history, apparently, of not paying people for services rendered. He's hit them up. He's inquiring about their service. He wants to hire them. They provide him with their services. And then when it comes time to pay them, all of a sudden, he doesn't, to each its own. Me personally, if I receive bad customer service or whatever is going down, look, I always believe just go ahead, pay for it. After you've paid for it, put in your complaint, put in the reviews, never do business with that establishment again, or don't do business with that establishment for a handful of months. That's how I've always operated. To each its own. But the one thing I've always prided myself on over the years, no, you're not going to say I didn't pay you. You're not going to come at me and say I ain't pay you. So it's just a whole lot of stuff that's just adding up with this guy over the years. And I got to tell you, what I had saw of him over the weekend, all I was able to do was just shake my head and just go, I can't believe this guy. I can't believe him. And let's look at Tampa Bay for a second. Bruce Arians and them. Bruce Arians knew better. Arians knew, okay, he was not for it. But Tom Brady felt, hey, look at what I was able to do with Ocho Cinco. Come on, man. Come on. I know I can break this guy in. I can get him staying on the right path. Everything's going to be all right. We can make this happen. I've worked with more colorful characters. We're going to be able to do this. He's got that Belichick mentality. We see how great of a job Belichick was able to do with some very troubled individuals, with the exception of Aaron Hernandez, right? But you get the point. Brady thought, and you know what? For a hot minute, at least during those 8 games when they initially had Antonio Brown, he was on his best behavior. But then as we pretty much go into this season, you see how that had played out. But no matter what, and this is the thing that's kind of, wow, they really tried as an organization to work with Antonio Brown. Even after the fake vaccination card, you would have thought that would have been it. He's out the door. They still went on ahead and, okay, we need wide receivers right now. We are running low on fuel here. And when we're looking at our depth as far as our roster goes and the weapons that we have at our disposal, and just the fact that they had to kind of rely on Antonio as that crutch to try to get them over a little bit of a hump there. Personally, from what all I've been seeing of Tampa Bay, as I've pretty much watched every single game of theirs since Brady has been in Tampa Bay, me personally, I feel they didn't need Antonio Brown this season. They could have just let him sit it out and they just figure it out. That's my personal take. But they wanted to roll the dice and keep going with the brother. And this is what you got that's on your hands. So let me see if I got this straight. And I got to give a shout out to Skip Bayless from Undisputed about this. I don't know how many of you guys had heard about this, but apparently from a very reliable source very close to Antonio Brown told Skip Bayless that, no, this is what happened. So apparently when it's all said and done, Antonio Brown was upset because Gronk was being targeted more. Yes. He was being targeted more than he was. And remember, I think it was in the second quarter of that game there against the Jets, Antonio Brown was targeted 5 times. Out of those 5 times, 3 were successful, and they accumulated 26-something yards. And so he's throwing a temper tantrum. You've got Tom Brady. Yo, what's going on? What's wrong with you? Rather than let it be about business. Let it be about business. And then afterwards, hammer it out. Have a beer, smoke some weed, look at some strippers, do whatever, go eat, whatever. Hammer it out then. Hammer it out off the field. No, we're doing this shit on the field. And he says to Brady, so Gronk's your boy now. I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. There is no I in team. It is everybody. It's all about sacrifices and whatever gets us the dub, whatever helps us move forward. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's all about those sacrifices. How much are you willing to endure? How much are you willing to give up in order to achieve the ultimate success? That's what it's all about. Not just in sports, but just in the game of life in general. So just think about that. After everything that Tom Brady did, single-handedly, going above and beyond, bending over backwards, and getting Antonio Brown there, and now you're pretty much biting the hand that feeds you. Tom Brady just pretty much scoffed this off, just dismissed it, and now, you know, but he did say sarcastically, yeah, Gronk's my guy now. To that, freaking Antonio Brown just decides he's freaking done. You see Mike Evans, a few others, they try to calm this man down. Bruce Arians, all of these guys were aware, okay, he's this close to meeting certain incentives so he can get bonus cash money, and they were trying to help him. They were trying to help him. They realized how close he was, and he could have gotten it if he'd have freaking remained patient and just quiet. That game alone, he probably would have met his incentive or incentives. Honestly, 2 cents from a distance, I think the guy is done. I think the guy is done. I just don't see how, wow, you were with this organization in the Steelers, and you think about the family that owns that the family that's in control of that franchise. You think about the Davis family over there with the Raiders. You think about Robert Kraft, the Patriots. You think about Tampa Bay, and it's just, man, if there was ever a quiet, okay, amongst all the NFL owners, quietly a blacklist of a player, I just feel Antonio Brown, he's made his last exit. And the way he just pretty much walked off the field there, you almost kind of got the impression that he kind of knew that this probably is going to be it. And he's just giving his bon voyage. Hopefully, we never see him in the league again. Honestly, I'm tired of him. I'm tired of his drama, his shenanigans, I'm tired of all of that shit. All the controversy that comes with him. Great player without a shadow of doubt. But brother's got some serious demons. And I am just speaking from the heart on this matter. If another organization is to give him another opportunity, first and foremost, I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope the NFL commissioner, Roger Goodell, actually steps in. All things considered, looking at the great body of work, well, not great body, but looking at the entire body of work that you have so far of Antonio Brown, hopefully a condition is applied to Antonio Brown where it's, hey, no. You need to go seek ongoing psychiatric help. We need to be given proper documentation, verification, as we need to directly be in contact with your physician, therapist, whatever. It'll verify that you have been going to your sessions. We need to see the medical diagnostic reports from them. There needs to be something along those lines. And then we also need to see, most importantly, self-accountability for his actions. This doesn't need to come from Roger Goodell saying, yo, you need to apologize. No, this needs to be an organic thing where he is just, if you want to call it an apology tour, that's fine. But nothing pleases me more as a fan, as a spectator, than seeing when, okay, this player messed up or this individual messed up. They realize it. They're taking self-accountability. They're owning up to it. And here's what they're laying out to ensure that something like that doesn't happen again. They want to be part of the solution, not the problem. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, kind of crazy. Kind of crazy what's going on there. What do I think the NFL will hold? Do I think the NFL will hold this over his head and not in? I'm not even thinking about Hall of Fame right now, brother. Seriously, the talk of Antonio Brown and Hall of Fame, my mind's not even there right now. And I don't think any fan should even be thinking about Antonio Brown and Hall of Fame right now. Was he on that trajectory, given everything that he's been doing so far in his NFL career? Yes, without a shadow of doubt. But right now, the talk of Hall of Fame, and you know what? It's hard for me to focus on stuff like that when it's pretty obvious the brother's got some demons. So, and this message goes out to any Antonio Brown fan that's out there. Anybody that's an Antonio Brown fan. Seriously, you should be saying, hey, not sure what's going on. I know you have your respected reasons, but there's a right and a wrong way to conduct business. Whatever's going on, squash it, yo. Need to see you on the field. Whatever's going on, squash it. Get whatever help you need, and hopefully we can see you on the field again. If you really mean well by Antonio Brown, I think that's how you need to be coming at him right now, rather than enabling him and giving him props and condoning that behavior. I mean, serious. That's a hell of a way to blackmark or blackball yourself, rather, from being in a league. Could you just imagine that? Something that you've trained so many years for. You've put in the time, you've put in the work, you've put in the energy. This is something that you've been doing since you were a kid or a teenager. And now, this is a livelihood that has essentially put money in your pocket, that has taken care of your friends and family. And now, the way it's looking, that livelihood is pretty much over and done with. That's the thing. Look, NFL doesn't stand for, National Football League. It truly is not for long. It truly is. Because life comes at you fast, and when it does, you got to make sure that you have that good backup plan ready to go. Something you can fall back on. So I wish the brother nothing but the best, but yeah, kind of crazy. So again, we were talking about how busy of a wrestling weekend it was. And it was. Look, we had the WWE Day 1 event. I had fun covering that event, by the way. That actually was a nice little event. That pretty much had set up what we got for WWE Raw tonight. So I'll tell you what, let's talk about Raw right now, and then we'll backtrack and we'll talk about some of those weekend events that had came about. By the way, if you haven't done so already and you're enjoying yourself so far, make sure you hit that like button. When you do that, it helps YouTube as far as content recommendations. It helps get our content out there to a more wider audience. And also feel free to hit that subscribe button. That way, helps me continue to create content for you guys. Thanks. But yeah, make sure you do all that. So look, Raw tonight, as I have mentioned, the length of a lot of the matches that we got tonight, I'm looking at it right now, 4 minutes here, a minute there, 3 minutes here, 2 minutes there, 9 minutes here, 3 minutes here. You're just looking at this, and when everything pretty much is added up, going into the main event, you're looking at 22 minutes. Now, when you add in the main event match, grand total, you have 40 minutes of in-ring action. During the course of a 3-hour show, you have 40 minutes of in-ring action. And I gotta tell you, as I mentioned at the very top, besides the main event, Fatal 4-Way, the U.S. Championship match there, the U.S. title match, honorable mention for AJ Styles and Old Boss. You know, really, because I like those guys big time. And that was really it. That was really it. So, things pretty much opening up with the new champion, new WWE champion, and Brock Lesnar. Actually, no, the lights went off, and things opened up with Paul Heyman standing in the middle of the ring, introducing his client, as he is a advocate for this man, the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, the new WWE champion. So there are so many things that's going on the brain. As you're watching this, one of the first things you're asking yourself is, okay, so wait a minute. So as a fan, you're as a spectator, you're asking yourself, so all this time, Paul Heyman has been working with Brock Lesnar? Is that what's been going on here? And somehow he was able to kind of calm Brock Lesnar down when it came to him working with Roman Reigns, but Brock Lesnar wanting a bigger piece of the pie. There are like so many questions that's going on here as you're seeing Paul Heyman is back, because you're going, wait, they've been in cahoots the whole time? Or did they have some type of a rough patch and they were able to smooth things out? What's going on? And sadly, on tonight's show, we did not get any light shed to those questions. I'm sure a lot of you guys had those same questions on your mind, and hopefully some of that will be tackled on this week's SmackDown, because we got a big development that came about from Raw tonight as far as a nice segue going into SmackDown. So we'll talk more about that, and we'll kind of revisit something that I had talked about as far as Roman Reigns getting the COVID positive result and all of that. Some of you guys may be a little bit, trust me, when we get ready to talk more about that SmackDown developing news, you guys will make sense out of it all. So it was great seeing Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar back together again. The old band is back together. They're reunited, and it feels so good. Great seeing these guys back together again. But you know, I like the dynamic going on here this go round, because yeah, Paul Heyman saying his stuff, but as we've seen these past couple of months, when, you know, since we've been having Brock Lesnar back, Brock Lesnar, you know, and it's so sad. It's so sad that we've got so many people that are saying, oh man, I really like this Brock Lesnar. He's so entertaining. Oh wow, he's so damn good on the microphone. Now let me get to the latter part. Obviously, these people that are saying what they're saying about his mic work and all of that, obviously these people never saw any of his UFC fights. They never saw any of his pre-show interviews, his post interviews. The man can frickin' talk. Yeah, he really didn't talk that much when he was in the WWE, the first rodeo, but there's a nice little compilation of stuff where you're going, okay, chops are pretty good, straight to the point. Okay, pretty good. Now, what I will say to you guys, what I will agree with you guys on, is as far as this latest incarnation of Brock Lesnar, seeing him with the smiling face, going out of his way to pose for pictures with folks, as over the years you would hear all types of stories of people that were trying to get in pictures with Brock Lesnar, and Brock wasn't having any of that shit. He was not having any of that shit. The only time Brock would make an exception is if it was a little kid. If it was a grown-ass man or woman, he did not give two shits. You are not getting a photograph with him. One infamous story that I remember, and we talked about it here on the show many years back. This may sound a little familiar to you guys. Right down to the point, if you actually type in Brock Lesnar Brock Lesnar fan RCWR show. If you maybe type that in a YouTube search, you might be able to come across the clip. But I remember, I think it was at an airport, somewhere in public. I want to say it was at an airport. Brock Lesnar was with his wife, Sable. They were minding their own damn business. And there was a guy, a grown-ass man. He wanted so bad to get some type of an autograph from Brock Lesnar. Rather than he go up to Brock Lesnar and Sable and get the autograph. So see, obviously the guy kind of knows Brock Lesnar isn't that type of person you want to be. We're talking, God, what was this? This was probably somewhere between 4 to 7 years ago, it feels like. 4 to 7 years ago. So anyway, might have been a little bit longer than that, actually. Might have been a little bit longer than that when this incident had occurred. But anyway, so the guy sends his girlfriend to try to go get the picture or autograph from Brock. And when she goes up to him, the husband or boyfriend or whatever, he's actually recording his woman that he's pretty much put out there, you know, off to the wilderness you go, honey. So she goes out there and, you know, he's recording, you know, and she's kind of pointing in the direction of her man or whatever. And Brock pretty much, he ain't having it. He's very respectful to her, but he's not having it. And she walks away with this sad little disappointing look on her face. And it's, okay, you actually thought your woman was going to be able to, right? So it's nice to see the 180 that Brock Lesnar is doing now, because all of a sudden you're just seeing these random photos pop up. Brock Lesnar at a restaurant, he's posing with folks, he's posing with somebody's wife, he's posing with a kid, he's posing with these guys. So it's refreshing to see. And then it's also refreshing to see this energetic, there is life in this Brock Lesnar that we're seeing now. It's not a Brock Lesnar that's just standing there, just pouncing up and down and all that, right? Just flexing his chest and all that. It's not that Brock Lesnar we're getting now. Now we're getting somebody that has some significant personality. It adds a whole new layer to Brock Lesnar. And I gotta tell you, this is probably, other than the first rodeo, I mean the first rodeo of Brock Lesnar in the WWE, before he had quit and, you know, eventually went to, Minnesota Vikings, did some training with them, then New Japan and, you know, MMA and all that. The first rodeo of his tenure in WWE, other than that time, I am really enjoying what's going on with Brock Lesnar right now. This is some of his best work as a in-ring performer. I really want to stress that, because the in-ring work is still intact after all of these years. I'm specifically talking about as far as a in-ring character, basically. He's really matured and taken me and many others, I would imagine, by surprise. So, and I would imagine that they're just starting to scratch the surface with what's going on with him. So, but yeah, so this opening segment was really, I hope you enjoy me kind of stretching this out a little bit. You know, I'm trying to add some fluff to it, but I can't really be too much more long-winded. I mean, I'm making very valid points, but honestly, the show tonight was just, yeah. But anyway, Heyman and Lesnar pretty much giving their props to the 4 guys that's going to be in the main event match. And you already see that nod, 2 nods that went specifically that, okay, very nice. I like the nod that was given to Big E. I like how Paul Heyman put over Big E. And I truly believe that Paul Heyman meant that with all sincerity. And just to double down on that point, I still recall the infamous Talking Smack episode. I know many of you guys do as well, where Paul Heyman was talking with Big E, told him how he feels he has all the greatest potential in the world to be a WWE champion. I know you guys remember that. So I would imagine definitely straight from the heart what Heyman was saying tonight about Big E and his championship run and everything. I truly believe it was legit from the heart. I love the nod there to Bobby Lashley, and that was a nice nod as well, homing in on the fact that these are two men that somehow in their respective careers, whether it be in wrestling or in the MMA world, these men have never collided one-on-one. So already, as you're watching this early on, you're going, okay, so we need to home in on two guys specifically. We need to home in on Big E, and we need to home in on Bobby Lashley. Okay, great. But that was a nice setup, what they had did there, leading up into the main event match. By the way, I see now Seth Rollins is now Seth frickin' Rollins. And what do I mean by that? Well, for those of you that didn't watch Raw tonight, yeah, over the months, you've heard Seth frickin' Rollins. But they've made it official. So now every single time Seth Rollins comes out and the lower third pops up on the screen, it now reads Seth frickin' Rollins. They just had to make sure that frickin' was in there. I don't know what to say about that. Seriously. Am I going to lose sleep over that? No. I'm going to treat that the same way that I'm going to treat the biggest talk that was going on over the weekend, where motherfuckers were saying, it's not a pay-per-view, it's a premium live event. And it's, wait, what? I'm going, what the fuck are we talking about here? And I'm researching what's going on, what everybody is talking about here. In case you had missed it, you don't know what I'm talking about. When WWE Day 1 was doing this thing, all of a sudden you kept seeing, I think it was PLE, Premium Live Event. You kept seeing these three letters that kept popping up or some shit like that. I might have the letters mixed up, but I remember something premium event. And I'm going, fuck are we talking about here? And you had people that were saying, yeah, the days of pay-per-view is over. Yeah. And wait, what? And I just couldn't help but go, well, is it really over? Because if I'm not mistaken, if you're with Verizon or if you're with Cox or if you're with DirecTV or Dish, there should still be an option to order WWE pay-per-views. Correct me if I'm wrong, boys and girls. I don't remember, in all the years I've been on the show, I don't remember coming across some news article where WWE said, oh, they're gonna stop doing pay-per-views altogether, meaning they're gonna stop working with the cable satellite providers and making their content, pretty much live events, be available to them so that they can sell those that don't care about the WWE network or don't care about Peacock and they just want to watch the pay-per-view. They don't mind spending the $30, $40, $50, $60. I don't recall that ending. Do you? If it did end, that's news to me because I've never heard that before. Now, I can give myself a nice exit. I've been pushing YouTube TV for about 2+ years now. So I don't know what's going on with the cable satellite providers these days, but you guys sound off, let me know. So to hear everybody tripping over pay-per-view, PME, is it a premium event if you are a Peacock user? Yeah, it's going to be a premium event because it's a premium event. Basically, in layman's terms, it's premium content. And the only way you can check out this premium content is if you're paying what, guys? The I think it's $4.99, right? Yeah, it should be the $4.99, but you're watching with ads, correct? And then the $9.99, you're watching stuff on Peacock without the ads. So, and as part of whichever plan you select, as part of it, you're able to access premium content. So thus, what you're watching, if you have Peacock, you're watching not a pay-per-view. If you want to get technical, you're watching a premium live event. Headache, right? Yeah, I got a headache too, just thinking about that shit. But then it's, okay, so when exactly is it a pay-per-view? You know, all this talk, and I saw this going on over the weekend, you know what it just reminded me of, honestly, in layman's terms? No bullshit. Okay, so I fucked my woman for about 20 minutes, and I was, excuse the terminology, folks, especially you younger listeners out there, but you've been warned. I was pre-coming, but I pulled out just in time before I actually ejaculated in her. I don't have to worry about her getting pregnant, right? Wrong. Women can get pregnant, especially if they're very fertile. They can get pregnant off of pre-cum. So I kind of just looked at that whole silly-ass terminology that was going on over the weekend. And so now I would imagine there's going to be a lot of people. Seth frickin' Rollins? Seth frickin' Rollins? Look, his new handle can be Seth Drippin' God Rollins, for all I care. I don't give a fuck. He's Seth Rollins. I care about the character. I care what he does in the ring. I don't care if he's got a middle frickin' Seth, let go of my egos, Rollins. I don't care about that middle crap, man. Seriously. Anyway, it is what it is. But RK Bro taking on Alpha Academy. Nice tag match for what it was worth. But now I will say this. Let me talk about a positive real quick. I like the fact that, remember what I said on last week's show? I said something along the lines of the inconsistency that's going on there with Otis. 1 minute, just out of nowhere, he gets a dub, and you're thinking, okay, well, this is great. If we're building towards something, when we're going to continue to build with Otis, you got to keep going with it. If you're going to have him pick up this win out of nowhere, at least have the brothers string together a couple of dubs, because it appeared that the narrative that they were telling weeks ago was, okay, something's cooking in the air there for RK Bro Alpha Academy. So I don't know if you guys remember that, but I did bring up those points. So to go into this match, a very short match, really not much to sink your teeth into. I really am not playing with you guys. I wish I could say a lot more. Nice for what it was worth. I honestly was expecting this to go 10 minutes. Honestly, I was expecting this match to go 10 minutes. Just out of nowhere, Otis pretty much gets a 1-2-3 on Matt Riddle. And so that's further spinning that narrative as far as Alpha Academy next in line, laying their claim in there for why they should be the next number one contenders to take on RK Bro for those Raw tag team titles. But yeah, I looked more at this match as setting up or the eventual match that's going to happen. Is it going to happen at the Royal Rumble? Possibly. It could also play out on Raw, or it could play out on both shows. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But this just felt more as if they were trying to just continue spinning the web on the story arc that's been happening between RK Bro and Alpha Academy these past couple of weeks. So I wish I could sink my teeth into this match more, but it was what it was. Honestly, it was what it was. By the way, Otis kind of growing a little mustache there. I see a little dirt that's going on there under his nose there. I'm not really, yeah. Let's see. Akira Tozawa and Tamina. This was pretty much a rematch from, what was it, last week? Where they, there's a moth in here. We got us a moth in here. Hang on, guys. Hang on. We got a moth in here. I hate moths. I'm telling you guys that right now. I hate moths. I hate them with a passion. If I see it again, I can't stand them. I can't stand moths. If I see it again, I'm telling you guys straight up, I'm going to kill the fucking little bastard. Seriously. Anyway, Akira Tozawa, Tamina, they teamed up again. This was basically a rematch with Reginald and Dana Brooke. You blinked, you missed it. This pretty much went a minute 9 seconds by my count. A minute and 9 seconds. I don't even know what the hell was the whole point of this freaking match, especially that type of length. And once again, I've got to bring up the question. Where the hell is the entire 24/7 locker room? All these other people that had the freaking championship. I remember that there were individuals when Maria Kanellis, her little pregnant cute ass, was running around briefly there as a 24/7 champion. I remember that there were some people that were kind of trying to figure out a way to get the title away from her, and ultimately it was Mike Kanellis that got the title away from her and all that. But what the hell was the point of this match? I mean, to sum up this match, basically a minute 9 seconds. Reggie does a front senton flip or whatever, pin attempt on Akira Tozawa, and the match is over. That pretty much was it. I gotta ask the question once again, did the entire locker room of guys that thought it would be a really cool idea to become a 24/7 champion, did they all suffer from the Thanos snap? Are they gone for the next 5 years or something? Because if ever there was a time to see the whole Benny Hill segment that usually happens with the 24/7 championship, all of a sudden, what are they in the back? Is the catering on point? What, they eating McDonald's? They eating Red Robin? Yum. What's going on back there? Nobody's appearing. So I'm going to double down on this once again. And I'm going to say that what's currently going on here between Reginald and Dana Brooke, I feel that this is nothing more than an angle that ultimately is going to have Reginald get back the 24/7 championship when he thinks he's got Dana Brooke in a very delicate position where she's completely let her guard down, and boom, he becomes a 24/7 champion yet again. But thinking about Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn and them, I smell this shit a mile away. I can see Reginald doing some lame-ass bullshit where he says something along the lines of, "Dana, you have to forgive me. I loved being the 24/7 champion, but in the process of becoming the 24/7 champion, I realized, mon chéri amour, that I'm in love with you as much as I'm in love with the 24/7 championship." Merci beaucoup. I can see some type of bullshit like that coming about. What I can't quite figure out is, how are they, WWE and the writers, how are they going to help us really get to that point? Is it going to be a scenario where maybe Dana Brooke is backstage and she maybe stumbles upon Reginald, like as the flirtation, as it continues to grow, and, maybe they kind of go a little steady or whatever? I can just picture a segment where she's getting ready to walk up to Reginald, and she overhears him. She stops in her tracks. She overhears him talking to some male wrestler, and that male wrestler says something along the lines of, "So what the hell's going on with you and Dana Brooke? You really into her, dude? What happened to you and being 24/7 champion?" And or I can see something like that happening. And Reginald is just, "Man, I don't care about that witch. I just care about the 24/7 championship. That's what I'm all about right now, baby. I'm just doing what I need to do to get to that championship." And then maybe Dana gets a hold of that information and then maybe somehow it kind of backfires on him, or he does get the championship, and at the same time, he does. That's when he has the epiphany that he actually does have feelings for Dana Brooke, and I just see a weird love angle coming from this. I don't know if you guys are smelling it, but I'm totally smelling this a mile away. Anyway, moving on. Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch recap from day one comes about. Becky Lynch comes out talking about 2022, talking about how it's a new year, how it always inspires hope for a lot of people. Even if it means people have failed pretty much their entire life, when that new year rolls around, they always, new me, new year, new me, new you, new life, right? All that. She takes her digs at the women in the back, because they pretty much all have the same New Year's resolution, which for them, they want to be at the top of the food chain. They want to be the new women's champion, but Becky Lynch, she can have it her way. Her New Year's resolution is she's going to continue to remain the women's champion. So that pretty much had brought out Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan pretty much promising to, she's going to be the one. Just shut up, Becky Lynch. Bianca Belair comes out. She's pretty much, nothing personal against you, Liv, but me and Becky, we got some issues that go back almost a year ago. So, yeah, our shit's unresolved here. So, ultimately, we hear that, actually, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember how this segment actually had ended here. I'm trying to remember if it ended in a brawl, or what. Yeah, it did. Liv and Bianca, they decided to double team on Becky Lynch. They tossed her ass outside the ring, and then the two of them, Bianca and Liv Morgan, they went at it. Nice little back and forth that was going on between the girls. I'm trying to remember how this had ended. I remember Bianca came in last on offense. She was looking for the KOD. Yes, it's coming back to me now. She was looking for the KOD on Liv Morgan, but then Becky Lynch came in there, pretty much did that manhandle slam. Same manhandle slam that she did to Liv Morgan at the day one pay-per-view. She did that to Bianca Belair, laid her out. Later on, we run into Doudrop in a backstage segment, who's pissed off over the fact that the Raw Women's Championship, it keeps going Bianca, Liv Morgan, like those are the only two names that keep popping up for this championship. Doudrop wants an opportunity. It's kind of funny too, because when it's counted the most, Doudrop has lost key matches, and yet there's that entitlement thing, right? She's our female Antonio Brown, badoosh. But no, seriously. All jokes aside, we gotta have some jokes here. It can't always be serious. But anyway, so she wants an opportunity. So Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville, they decide to give her that opportunity. Next week's Raw, it's gonna be a triple threat match between Bianca, Doudrop, Liv Morgan. Winner of that goes on to face getting my B's mixed up, Becky, at Royal Rumble for the Women's Championship. So that's pretty much how that got resolved, at least for now. Speaking of women's action, Raw Women's Tag Championship match, Carmella, Queen Zelina, Rhea Ripley, Nikki Ash. Yeah, this match went, according to my records, or notes, this match went, I got 2 minutes and change, basically. Carmella, Zelina retaining. It just felt, tonight's Raw, it just felt as if they weren't even trying tonight. It really, it just felt as if, those names are great. Just go out there. 2 minutes will do it. 2 minutes will do. Can you just imagine? I got to take a quick sidebar because I know we're talking about Raw and all that. And look, loads of cool wrestling shit went down over the weekend that we're about to get into. But can we all be in agreement on this? Just imagine you're that WWE fan or you're that wrestling fan and you're going, oh man, I haven't been to a wrestling event in a long time, or I haven't been to a wrestling event since all this COVID stupid shit has come about. I haven't really been living my life as normal, and I want to do something that feels normal again. I want to get back down to basics. And you got a little nest of money that's saved up. You go on ahead, you go to Ticketmaster, and hey, WWE is going to be in my neck of the woods. Okay, let me hit up a couple of friends, a couple of family members. You got yourself some nice, good-ass seats. I'm not saying it's hard camera, front row seats, but you got some damn good seats, okay? Not everything needs to be about the first 3 rows. You got the ring and then the first 3 rows. Not everything needs to be about that. Just, hey, I got some good seats. Just imagine you paid that good money for those good seats. You paid that money for that concession food, and you're getting this type of bullshit throughout the night from WWE. Seriously. It just felt as if these guys were not even trying tonight. Street Profits. By the way, Carmella, Zelina retaining their titles. I don't know if I had mentioned that. Street Profits picking up a W over Apollo Crews and Commander Aziz. This was another one that was 2 minutes tonight. Another 2-minute match. So for me, it's at this point, I'm just going, what is going on here? Are we trying to make sure that these guys don't get injured since we got Royal Rumble coming up? Or are we thinking about how much interactions that these people are going to be having with one another? Because we know how easy it is to get this Omicron variant. And I mean, I would like to believe that all of these people that are performing in front of us here tonight, they all have been tested. They tested negative. They're good to go, right? I would like to believe that. I'm trying to justify. I don't know if you guys were trying to justify it in your heads. This isn't overanalyzing either. You're just going, what the fuck is going on? Because we're getting 1-minute matches, 2-minute matches. What's going on here? How do you justify this? But then we get to the United States Championship match. Dolph Ziggler taking on Damian Priest. Remember, if Priest is counted out or he gets a DQ, he loses the title. This is finally where we get a little bit more on the match that lasts longer than 3 minutes. Did somebody say 3 minutes? Decent match. Decent match. You know it's bad when you look at this match, and this match had went, give me a second. This match had went 9 minutes, 35 seconds according to my notes that I took. I have a stopwatch because I'm so programmed when I'm doing the AEW Rampage live ongoing coverage. I got a stopwatch, and so as I'm writing down what's going on with the in-ring action, I got a separate watch that is keeping track of how long the matches are going. So it's something that has just followed me going into watching these other shows here. So hopefully you guys appreciate that. But you know what's funny right here? You take this match between Damian Priest and Dolph Ziggler, and this match alone pretty much is the equivalent to the first 3 matches. No, to the first 4 matches combined. When you combine all their lengths, it pretty much makes up this one match. Yeah, marinate on that for a few ticks. Not really. How okay match. I wouldn't even say it was a I'm tempted to say it was a below average match to maybe a average kind of match, but I'm slightly more on a below average kind of match here. I think what's going on for me, I'm just ready to see Damian Priest move on to bigger, better opponents for that US title. for me, the whole Dirty Dogs, is that their name? I just feel that's bringing him down a little bit. It really, really is. So now, unless the silver lining we're going to throw into this, unless a silver lining is going to be, no, Dirty Dogs are going to continue to stick it to Damian Priest until we get to the Royal Rumble, where Damian Priest goes, okay, you know what? You guys want to continue to stick it to me, Okay, well, you know what? I made a phone call. You know, I got somebody that's going to have my back at the Royal Rumble. Dirty Dogs are like, hey, who the hell wants to team with you? Don't nobody really like your ass. And then it turns out maybe Bad Bunny. So could maybe something happen with Bad Bunny at the Royal Rumble? If not a tag match with Damian Priest against Dirty Dogs, then is it possible that maybe, as far as celebrities go, the hell with the Jackass guy? How about Bad Bunny, who, honestly, to follow up on what I had said the other night, as far as I'm concerned, because I know some people are going to look at what I said about the Jackass guy and how I talked about, hey, people that are very worthy of earning such a delicate spot, being involved in the Royal Rumble match and everything. I got no shade whatsoever. I got no hate whatsoever if Bad Bunny were in the Royal Rumble, because it was such a mutual, a very financial relationship. It was a very beneficial relationship from a financial standpoint, what WWE and Bad Bunny were able to do. And plus, Bad Bunny went into that and he fucking bust his ass off. He bust his ass off. So if you were to tell me Bad Bunny's gonna be, I'd be cool with it. I don't give a fuck about some damn Jackass guy. You know, when was the last time I watched Jackass, by the way? The last time I watched Jackass tonight, by the way, that weird little message that you guys are seeing in the chat, I already deleted it. Make sure you don't click on that. We got some weird spam bots that are running around in the joint there. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird what's going on there. But anyway, I'd be okay with him. I'd be okay with him going in. Seriously, I'd be all right with him in there. Damian Priest retaining the championship. I mean, unless we're going in that direction, we got to be done with this Damian Priest Dirty Dogs thing, because I personally feel it's just bringing the poor guy down. We got our next installment of Crease Vince McMahon talking to freaking Johnny. Little Cobra Kai reference there. Sweep the leg, damn it. Sweep the leg. You gotta sweep the leg, Austin. Sweep the leg. Finish him, Austin. Finish him. Development here. Vince McMahon decided that Austin Theory is going to be put in the Royal Rumble, and that if he wins, he goes all the way to WrestleMania. So Austin Theory is pretty excited about that. And yeah, he's pretty excited about that. It's kind of hilarious right there. But see, here's the question that he really should be asking. What happens if he freaking loses? What type of ramifications is going to be coming down on him if he were to lose? I don't know about you all, but that's the kind of question that I would be asking Vince McMahon, because Vince McMahon has been coming at him with this whole question everything that's being said to you, right? He's in one of those kind of sensei guru type of modes there, man. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, so he's going to be in the Rumble. There was a development between Miz, Maurice, Edge, Beth Phoenix. You know, we've been talking about that for a couple of months now. Finally, the trigger was pulled. Challenge was put out there by the Grit couple, as they wanted to face the It couple at the Royal Rumble, of which the It couple, Miz and Maurice, they accepted. So we got that development right there. Should be an entertaining matchup. looking forward to it. Legit. I'm actually looking forward to it. AJ Styles, Omos. Hits just keep on coming. This was another short matchup. By my notes here, I got this one clocking in at 3 minutes, 45 seconds. I may be a little off right here. Very deflating. Very deflating. You know what this match reminded me of? I got to go with a food analogy. I like how some of the listeners, they go, you cook, right? They're like, yeah, I cook. Then sometimes I'll get somebody that says, you work at a restaurant, right? It's like, actually, no, I don't. Like, I never have. It's like, come on, man, look at me. I'm a big dude. I like to eat. So, but no, here's a good food analogy to help you guys really feel where I'm coming from on this Omos AJ Styles match. And anybody, I don't care how old you are, you can relate to this analogy I'm about to put out there, which is this. You know that feeling you get when you're with your friends and you go, damn, dude, man, I'm hungry. Yeah, me too. Hey, let's go grab a bite to eat. All right, what you got a taste for? I don't know, man. Chinese? I had enough Chinese for this week. Oh, okay. How about some tacos? Nah, how about some pizza? Yeah, let's go do pizza. Hey, there's this other friend talking. Hey, there's this pizza joint that's just down the street and the guy's never eaten there. You? No. Well, let's go over there. All right. You go to the pizza place. So excited, right? Just that taste for pizza, man. All these people, they already know what kind of toppings they want on their pizza and everything. They finally get that pizza. Smells good. Looks good. Tastes like shit. And then as they're eating it, all of a sudden, why did we come here again? Yeah, it was a cool idea at first, but yeah, now that we're pretty much here and we're eating this food isn't all it's cracked up to be. It's not worth the price. Who the hell told these guys they could make pizza? Right? It's one of those type of deals. And then you got to try to rectify it by, I don't know, maybe going to 7-Eleven and grabbing some of their freaking nachos, the 7-Eleven nachos, chili and cheese, right? That's how I felt when I looked at this Omos AJ Styles match. Very deflating. Very deflating. Granted, I looked at this match last week. I told you guys, I'm excited for this match. And I was right here a week ago. I said this should be exciting. Can't wait to see how AJ Styles is going to work his little ass off and put over the big man. I wasn't expecting it to be quite at the level of what he did against Brock Lesnar a couple of years ago, but fucking A, kind of close to it. I was expecting him to really go in there and make it look so goddamn entertaining, like he's in there in the ring working with a broom. That's how damn good of entertainment I was peeping out for this match. And it did not deliver whatsoever. Very, very deflating. I think the biggest problem that was going on with this matchup, in retrospect, really just, these are instant reactions I'm giving you guys. This isn't a day or two later I've had to sleep on it and all that. Nothing like that whatsoever. You've got the good story arc seeds been planted into this for a couple of months now. So they did everything right from those standpoints. But I felt where they went a little bit wrong with this is the fact that this win, very hollow. This win for Omos came off very, very hollow. Because with such a short match that you did right here, you didn't give AJ Styles an opportunity to show why he is the phenomenal one. you didn't capitalize on the fact that AJ Styles is a former WWE champion, which, by the way, as far as I know, and I'll go back and watch it, and if I need to make a correction, I'll make the correction on Wednesday's show. But we didn't hear the color commentators when they were really trying to build this up. I didn't hear that mention. Okay? So, this ain't no some Johnny come lately. This is fucking AJ Styles. A guy that, without a shadow of doubt, in the near future, will be a WWE Hall of Famer. Without a shadow of doubt. Just everything that he's accomplished in his entire career. He will definitely be a WWE Hall of Famer. Even though he may not have won the World Heavyweight Championship the multiple times of some other folks, there's enough. Just the entire body of work, there's enough. There's enough. Okay? Don't have to worry about, well, what about his tenure in TNA? Well, what about the little stuff he was doing in New Japan? Or what about ROH? WWE can easily pay whatever royalties they need to pay, get all that footage together, put it all, right? He'll go into the Hall of Fame. He'll go into the Hall of Fame. But I was expecting for AJ Styles to show up and really put in the work to try to make Omos look as good as possible, while also telling that story of, okay, this ain't gonna be that easy. And the fact that the way this match just pretty much little bit of offense from AJ here and there, ba-doop, little bit here and there, but this was so one-sided. Now, I could justify that to you guys, and I could say, okay, well, the lack of stuff that still Omos can do in the ring, he's still pretty green. He's coming along. I remember months back, I used to say, man, the guy's got cinder blocks for feet. Because it just seemed like it was such a struggle for him to move around and all of that. But yeah, the fact that you had this match so short and you had it be so one-sided, it was really hard to have fans be invested in this match and really come away going, oh man, this guy just really destroyed the hell out of AJ Styles of all people. Man, he just really went to town on this guy. What the hell? Yeah, this just was not the way to do it. This was not the way to do it. There should have been more of an offense from AJ. You definitely should have had it get to a point where, if it would have been up to me, I would have had this match go 10, 11 minutes is kind of pushing it. But definitely at about the maybe 8-minute mark, I would have had AJ Styles start to look for that phenomenal forearm. I would have had freaking AJ come off that rope. He's getting ready to connect. I would have had Omos just freaking chop his ass or just punch him right in the face, knock his ass down, and then just starts going on the offense. I would have had the action actually go outside the ring. I would have had Omos just continue to obliterate the hell out of AJ Styles. I mean, just obliterate the hell out of him. Right down to the point, there would have been a count out. There would have been a freaking count out. And you would have had Omos just not give a damn. Omos's mission is to prove a point that he is cold-blooded as ice, and that AJ Styles calling him trash, I mean, make him severely pay for it. I think he would have gotten more of a better pop. Both men would have gotten more of a pop from the crowd if Omos would have really been able to go to town. WWE lost the ability here tonight to really give Omos that super heat, and at the same time, that nice, good babyface comeback reaction for AJ. Very, very deflated right here. I have a feeling these two men are not done, but that's what's going to be the even most craziest thing about all of this, which is How are they going to rebuild and redeem themselves from what they did here tonight? We'll have to wait and see. Main event match, Fatal 4-Way, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Big E. Bobby Lashley coming out of this. He is the winner and the new number one contender that'll go on to face Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. I had this match being 18 minutes. 18 minutes. So grand total, 40 minutes of in-ring action here. I am totally on board. In case you didn't really pick it up earlier, I'm totally on board with Brock versus Lashley. Totally okay with this. And it's going down at one of the 4 major pay-per-views for WWE. I'm totally down for this. I'd be fine with Brock versus Lashley without the damn title, but just the fact that we got this going on, I'm loving this. And by the way, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, I got to give them props once again. Bust their fucking asses off. I mean, the great performances that they had at day one, they followed it up and they delivered another slam dunk with their performances here in this Fatal 4-Way. I love this. If there was ever a reason to really watch Raw tonight, it was really because of this main event match when it was all said and done. Closing out the show, Brock Lesnar, watching everything that had played out backstage. He's asked to comment about what all had just went down. He did not give props to Bobby Lashley whatsoever. To the point, Lashley actually Lesnar looked a little bit rattled, a little bit concerned. And rather than acknowledge Lashley being the new number one contender, he pretty much ignores the hell out of it and says, yeah, I got a comment. Tell Roman I'll see him on Friday for this week's SmackDown. And that pretty much was the end of the show. So I know that probably had threw some of you guys off hearing about the whole Roman Reigns thing. Now, this is what I want to say in regards to Roman Reigns. Remember, we got the new CDC guidelines and everything. If you got your vaccinations, your booster shot, and all that good loveliness, then it's a case where, you know, if you come down with some symptoms that you feel, okay, you know what, rather be safe than sorry. Wifey, I told you guys on the last show, she, is coming down. She's a little bit sick and everything. And pretty much you go in isolation mode for 5 days. Quarantine yourself for 5 days. And, pretty much doesn't matter. As far as the CDC goes, look, you got your booster shot. You got all of this. You don't have to wait the 10 days or 14 days, since you got vaccinated and all of that. You just got to keep yourself away for 5 days and then you can pretty much come on back. It's those that haven't gotten any of the shots whatsoever that, unfortunately, they may have to be out a little bit longer, basically. And plus, it's a state to state type of, right? Not every state is going to operate the same way, but that's why I told you guys you really got to just go on the CDC site. And so think about it. Sunday, Roman Reigns had said he tested positive. So he tested positive on Sunday. So look, you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? So 5 days. So as long as he is showing a negative test when he gets tested, then he's pretty much good to go. He is pretty much good to go. So, yeah, I think that's why we're definitely... I think we're going to see Roman Reigns on SmackDown this week. Honestly, I do. I'd be kind of shocked if we did not see him this week. But I still feel that as far as the Royal Rumble goes, remember what everything I had talked about on day one, I still feel that as far as the trajectory goes... I know there's a lot of people it's kind of fucked up. Big E kind of out there in the code and everything. What the hell? I still feel that when it's all said and done, Big E is going to have his WrestleMania moment. I still feel everything I mentioned on the day one post show. I still feel that Bobby Lashley, remember what I said on the Day One post show? I said Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar, Royal Rumble, WWE Championship. Lashley wins the title. And then you've got later on that night in the Rumble, Lesnar enters the Rumble. He wins it. Lesnar reigns WrestleMania Universal Championship. Lashley, in the meantime, I feel Lashley is going to keep that title going into WrestleMania. Big E, Lashley for the WWE Championship. Convince me otherwise. But yeah, this was Raw. That's all I gotta say. Other than that one match, that's all I gotta say. All right, so that's that. How we doing on Showtime? Let me see how we're doing on Showtime here. Not too bad. You know, we had a lot of other cool talk that was going on. So we're at about an hour and a half. That's not too bad. So look, some of this other stuff that had went down. I was telling you guys, a lot of wrestling stuff happened going into the weekend and all that, going into the new year. By the way, Happy New Year to you guys once again. GCW, they were in action over the weekend. They did their Til Infinity show at the Showboat in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And if you missed it, you can actually catch it on FITE TV. So this is all the matches that went down. You had an open challenge match for the GCW Extreme Championship. PCO defeated Matt Tremont. Tony Deppen got a victory over Cole Radrick. Jimmy Lloyd beat Ho Ho Lun. Jack Cartwheel defeated Nick Wayne. Meanwhile, Atticus Cogar defeated Everett Connors. Alex Zane teamed up with Blake Christian to defeat the team of Ninja Mac and Dante Leon. You had an intergender match where Dark Sheik picked up a win over Colby Carino. Meanwhile, the Second Gear crew defeated Young, Dumb, and Broke. I love that name. Scramble match, Calvin Tankman defeated One Called Manders, Shane Mercer, JJ Garrett, Marcus Mathers, and Yua. Alley Catch defeated Charlie Evans. And you had a death match between G Raver and Akira. G Raver picked up the victory there. You also had GCW's Die 4 that went down in Atlantic City, New Jersey as well. Briscoes, them boys, Mark and Jay Briscoe, defeated Blake Christian and Alex Zane to retain the GCW tag team titles. Calvin Tankman defeated Yoa. Joey Janela defeated Scotty Too Hottie. Jeff Jarrett made a surprise appearance and hit Effie with his guitar. He's really channeling that Johnny Cash phase of his career right now, isn't he? He really, really is. By the way, I've been checking now some of Jeff Jarrett's podcasts, and I gotta say it's actually pretty damn good. He's been doing a pretty damn good job so far. I'm just really surprised, if anything, it's taken Jeff Jarrett this long, because I would have expected him to get into the podcasting game a long time ago. So I know, he had some personal, issues that was going on. And if there's ever a individual I'm really rooting for right now, I'm really rooting the hell for Jeff Jarrett. All these years that he's been sober so far, and he's really been able to do a good job continuing to stay on the right path. And I tell you, if that's not a really good sign as far as looking towards inspiration, motivation, try to get your house in order, or, reach out to somebody that you really love, care about, and, hang on a second. I'm getting a message that's kicking in here. Okay, I'm good. But yeah, so I'm really proud of him. But yeah, I checked out a little bit of Jeff Jarrett's new show, and it's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. I gotta say, I like it. I definitely will recommend you guys check it out when you get a chance. You will not be disappointed. It's good shit. Also from the show, let me look here. Some other stuff had went down here on the show. Give me a second here. I can find it because I just lost my place. Man, there's a lot of stuff that had went down over the weekend. There was even a WWE live event. Homicide defeated Jordan Oliver, Tony Deppen, Jack Cartwheel, Dante Leon, Ninja Mac, Atticus Cougar, Nick Wayne, Dark Sheik, Matthew Justice, AJ Gray, Cole Radrick, Shane Mercer, PCO, G Raver, Colby Carino, Ali Ketch, Billy Starks, Grim Reaper, and a GCW World Title #1 contender Do or Die Rumble. So as a result of Homicide picking up the win, he will go on to face John Moxley for the championship. So that should be a pretty damn good matchup. I don't know. I think I might actually order that pay-per-view, check it out and all of that. So GCW, they've been picking up a lot of steam, and I would not be surprised if for many fans, when they look at 2021 as an overview and they look at some of their favorite wrestling promotions, I wouldn't be surprised if, for those that's really jumping out there and checking out all the different flavors that's out there, I would not be surprised whatsoever if GCW was on a lot of fans' list there. So I would imagine they're going to have even more bigger, successful year than what they have been able to pull off so far in 2021. But yeah. So I think I'm actually gonna check that out. I am seeing what you guys are saying in the chat. By the way, I see we got like some weird spam bots that's spamming the hell out of some weird link. You guys make sure you don't click on that shit. Shout out to everybody that's checking out the show live though. Much love, appreciate you guys. So that was GCW Die 4. Did I mention oh no, I missed one match. Alex Colon defeated John Wayne Murdoch to retain the GCW Ultraviolet Championship. You also had WWE. They ran a live event, I believe, the next day after day one. They were in North Carolina, and they had Rick Boogs defeat Austin Theory. Natalya picked up a win over Nikki Ash. Rhea Ripley defeated Natalya. Raw Women's Championship match, Becky Lynch retained over Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan. You had a United States Championship match where Damian Priest retained over The Miz. For the SmackDown Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair defeated Sasha Banks. New Day's Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Big E teamed up to take on the team. And Bobby Lashley. Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Big E, Bobby Lashley. They all teamed up to defeat the team of Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and the Usos. Apparently, Lashley ended up walking out on New Day. There was a DQ when Rollins had used the chair. So that pretty much had set up a no DQ main event match where New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and Big E went on to defeat the team of Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and the Usos. H2O Wrestling, they were in action as well. They had their Massacre in Massachusetts event as part of the Rustival in Worcester, Massachusetts. This had streamed on IWTV. I know a lot of you guys seem to be checking that out more, IWTV, but that's where that event had streamed initially. Frank Bonetti and Adonis Valero defeated Ryan Redfield and Frankie Picard. Austin Luke defeated Reed Walker. You had a chairs and chains match. Bobby Beverly defeated Gregory Iron, Mitch Vallon, Drew Blood, and Dale Patricks. The one match that a lot of people seem to be talking about, I've only seen bits and highlights from gifts and stuff like that some folks had shared. Masha Slamovich defeating Mickey Knuckles. For the H2O Tag Team Championships, Christian Ross and Chris Bradley defeated Gigi Everson and Anthrax. Marcus Mathers defeated Anthony Green. Danny Havoc. There was a Danny Havoc Hardcore Championship match where Lucky 13 defeated Chris Payne. And Barbed Wire Massacre match, Kennedy Copeland defeated Matt Tremont. Jersey Championship Wrestling, they held their event. They held their GCW Did event. That was in Atlantic City. Here's the results for that one. I tell you guys, there's a lot of cool shit that was going on over a weekend. A little bit of something for everybody. Frontman Jai defeated Edith Surreal. Dylan McKay defeated JJ Garrett. That ended in a no contest, actually. Big Vin defeated one called Manders. Yokai, Yoa, and Janai Kai defeated Azrael and Steve Scott. Grim Reefer defeated Steve Sanders. No relation to me. I want to make sure I stress that. Matt Makowski picked up a win over Billy Starks. Joey Janela picked up a victory over Cesar Bonini. And in a loser leaves town match, Charlie Evans defeated Everett Connors. Beyond Wrestling. And you know what? I want to give a shout out to Beyond Wrestling, because Beyond Wrestling, they had, besides them having their... Actually, no, you know what? I always get those two mixed up. I think it's Big Time Wrestling I'm thinking about. Yeah, somebody, one of the owners, or I guess maybe he was the guy that pretty much has started it all in regards to Big Time Wrestling. He had passed away. If you give me a minute, let me think about it a little bit more, and the name will come to me. But Beyond Wrestling, they did their Heavy Lies the Crown event. That was in Worcester, Massachusetts. That also had streamed on IWTV for their Restival weekend. 44.0 defeated Aaron Rourke and the Shook Crew. Il O'Neill picked up a win over Vincent Nothing. Max the Impaler defeated Jody Threat. Violence is Forever match, or actually, correction, that's the stable. Violence is Forever. Dominic Guarini and Kevin Koo defeated the Miracle Generations, Dustin Waller and Kylan King. JD Drake picked up a win over Slade. Megan Bain defeated Trish Adora. Vincent picked up a dub over Dan Barry. B3 CCA picked up a dub over Willow Nightingale. Meanwhile, Alec Price defeated Ryan Galoni. Hot Wheels, Tracy Williams and Wheeler Yuta defeated the Foundation's Jonathan Gresham and Rhett Titus. And in a Fans Brain the Weapons match, this one, if there was one match, I would say go out of your way and try to see if you can find it online or even maybe get the pay-per-view. Check it out on IWTV, as this match was very well received. I've seen a lot of GIFs and images. I actually saw at some point a couple of minutes of this match through a buddy that was trying to hook me up because he knows how much of a fan I am of Kimber Lee. Masha Slamovich defeating Kimber Lee. I mean, it was bloody. It was... Them girls went all balls out. I mean, it was basically a nice companion piece to what we had saw in AEW's Rampage this past Friday, with all of those girls going at it. Anna Jay, Tay Conti, and they're taking on Penelope Ford and the Bunny. What a fantastic look. That's really what watching Rampage was all about for this past Friday. It was really about that match. Exceeded definitely my expectations, many other people's expectations. Those girls really fucking brought it, went all balls out for the entertainment of the fans. Mad fucking props. And this match, in what Masha Slamovich and Kimber Lee did, like I said, definitely a great companion piece to what you saw on Rampage this past week. I wish I knew what was the ratings for AEW Rampage, but because of the holiday, we should know something by Tuesday. I don't think there's anything out for SmackDown just yet as well. But last Tuesday's Go Home edition of NXT, that did 662,000 viewers on the USA Network, up 12%. Up 12% from the previous week's show that did 591,000. Meanwhile, the New Year's Smash edition of AEW Dynamite, that's actually down a little bit. They did, look, damn good numbers. They did 975,000, and it was steady in the 18 to 49 demo, just slightly above the previous week with a 0.37 rating. So, I mean, that's not too shabby when you think about it. Matter of fact, if I remember right, on Wednesday's show, I said they were going to be in the 900,000s. I think I might have said 935,000. I've got to go back and check out the numbers for that. Speaking of AEW, while I'm thinking about AEW, they're doing something really cool. AEW is going into this Wednesday's Dynamite. There's going to be a pre-show meet and greet prior to Dynamite. And it's benefiting a really good cause, as the AEW community outreach account on Twitter, they had posted that you'll be able to do a meet and greet with Cody Rhodes. And as you all know, he's the current TNT champion. And the meet and greet, check this out, no highway robbery whatsoever. The meet and greet, $75. $75, and all proceeds will be donated to the educational charity Playworks, which helps children to stay active and build valuable social and emotional life skills through the power of play. And that's so important now more than ever, because in a day and age where video games, doing really cool stuff like this. For me, when I was growing up back in the day, it was all about the Boys and Girls Club. It was all about the Boys and Girls Club, or some type of a local kids recreational place that you could go to after school, and they had a computer library, or you could play some shuffle hockey, play some pool or whatever. A lot of that dying breed, unfortunately. So, take advantage of that. You guys are going to be in the area for that upcoming AEW show. It's going to be in Newark, New Jersey, at the Prudential Center. So if you guys are going to be around the area, somebody that's going to be in the area, make sure you give them a heads up about that. Also, Athena, or you all may know her better as Amber Moon, it's been announced her first post WWE appearance, since she got released from the company and everything. She'll be appearing at the Ultimate Celeb Fest that's going to be coming up in February. Don't worry, as it gets a lot closer, I will give you guys a heads up. But the exact date for that Celeb Fest 3, February 6th. So if you guys are interested, there's tickets available right now. Just type in a Bing or Google search Ultimate Celeb Fest 3, February 6, 2022, and you should be able to come across it that way. So I bought myself a little bit of time to think about it, and it was California Wrestling's big time wrestling founder and promoter Kirk White, who I was thinking of earlier. He passed away as we went into the new year. I believe he passed on December 30th. No information right now on how he passed, but BTW officially made the announcement on their social media pages on behalf of Mr. Kirk White's family. They got the permission, all that, to put that out there. He managed for over 20 years Bret Hart's bookings. Okay, so this guy, very, from what I understand, very well respected. Yeah, he passed away. Actually, no, not on December 30th. I got him mixed up with somebody else. Mr. White passed away on Christmas Eve, and kind of young. He passed away at the age of 63. So his family do have a GoFundMe that's set up right now. And basically, I believe they're trying to raise, I think somewhere between $10,000 to $15,000 for funeral expenses. So if you guys are able to do a little something, I know with the holidays, a lot of us are recouping right now, but for those of you that are able to give, definitely type in a Bing or Google search, because I don't have the URL. By Wednesday's show, I'll mention it again and I'll provide the URL. But in a Bing Google search, just type in GoFundMe Kirk, Kirk White, and you should be able to come across it that way. Also, if you are a Fozzy fan, some interesting news had came about with Fozzy as their drummer for 20 years, Frank Fontsere. He is stepping away from the band. He's basically stepping away to spend more time with his family and also work on some side projects that's near and dear to his heart. So he got a really nice, good send-off from Chris Jericho and crew of Fozzy, and the new drummer that's going to be coming in to replace Frank, his name is Grant Brooks. So very curious to see how that's gonna play itself out. I mean, look, not for nothing, but when I was on the Jericho cruise, because I remember when he was performing with Fozzy. And then later on when he was performing with Quarantine, because Quarantine did a couple of shows. And I just remember there were some bandmates that were, I'm trying to think, I want to say maybe they shared the same drummer in Fozzy and Quarantine, at least on the cruise I'm talking about. I know there was something they had shared. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. So the fact that they were able, apparently they did a little audition. Fozzy did. It wasn't just one of those, okay, he's stepping away, we know the perfect guy. Apparently they had held some auditions, and when they were ready to officially make the announcement, they did. So very curious to see what's going to be happening with them. Remember, I've yet to, other than the Jericho cruise, I've yet to see Fozzy as a paying, okay, I'm going to this venue to see Fozzy. I've yet to do that yet. So, but I've got plenty of footage from what Fozzy was doing on the cruise. I've got all of Fozzy's albums. I've got all their studio albums. So I'm actually looking forward to hearing what they're going to be able to do with Grant Brooks. Now, I would imagine that this next Fozzy album that's getting ready to come out, I would imagine that pretty much is going to be the last time that we'll be able to hear Frank on the drums, because Jericho had last said that the album was pretty much done. They were just in, I think, post-production, just doing some final mixing. But they said that the new Fozzy album was going to be released this year. So, FYI. Other than that, we got a couple of more little news items, but it can honestly wait until Wednesday's show. I do want to give a shout out though to my listeners in the UK. We do have, when I go back and I look at the analytics on a month-to-month basis over the years, always consistent. If it's not USA, it's the UK. If it's not UK, it is Canada. If it ain't Canada, it's Africa or it's Singapore. We got some serious reach. So I want to give a shout out. And I love my UK fans. I love them because especially on the nights when some nights we'll talk about Raw or we'll talk about a pay-per-view. I've got folks from the UK that will stay up late if they know I'm going live just to show some love and talk about, what all they had saw from the show and all that. But shout out to my guys in the UK. Some interesting AEW news for you guys. This is apparently what's beginning this week. So in regards to AEW Rampage, again, for my UK listeners, those of you living in the UK, this news is for you. I try to look out for you guys from time to time. AEW beginning this week will now air on ITV4 beginning on Tuesday nights at 11:05 p.m.
and then they're going to do a replay late Thursday night on ITV. This week, they will have a late night airing between 11:40 p.m. and 12:40 a.m. And a little bit more info here as far as ITV. ITV's main station, from what I had researched, it's basically the second most watched network in the UK, following up behind BBC One. So Rampage had previously aired on FITE TV as part of a monthly pay service for that respected country. And those who subscribed, they could get both AEW shows live and commercial free. Again, this was on FITE, just out in the UK. Meanwhile, if you're wondering, okay, so that takes care of Rampage, what does this mean for Dynamite? I'll tell you what it means for Dynamite. Dynamite, which airs late Friday nights on ITV4, will now air on ITV on Monday nights. It will now air its first full 2 hours instead of the edited 1 hour show. So, I mean, that's kind of good, right? For you guys in the UK, that's kind of good. The show usually airs in revolving time slots starting at 11 p.m. or later. And the viewership out there, look, if you thought the numbers for Impact Wrestling was pretty laughable, was pretty bad, in the UK, especially when you think about that time block that they're doing, especially when it's a rotating time, for what it's worth, not too shabby. They usually average between 100 to about almost 200,000 viewers. So, and this is on Friday nights. So, I mean, that's not really too bad. The Monday night show has had over 250,000 viewers. And, you know, by all accounts, it's making it the most widely seen wrestling show in the UK. So, nice. That's pretty good. Now, when if you're a WWE fan, you're kind of going, so what? Well, in regards to WWE programs are on a pay TV service out there, and they got less distribution out there in the UK. So, I like talking about some UK stuff from time to time. I try to look out for my UK guys when I can. Least thing I can do, because I know some of you guys, you stay up, you check out the shows live and all that good stuff, or, you know, you just check it out whenever, and I appreciate you guys. So I'm trying to look out for you all. Other than that, that is pretty much going to do it. I'm going to say, where are we at now? We're at about an hour 57. Let's call it. I mean, we went all over the place, wide range of excellent topics. All right, real quick, your next show is going to be Tuesday night. We are going to be covering NWA Power Fallout. Now, I know the NXT Takeover event, their New Year's Evil, I know they're going to be doing their thing. I think what we'll do at this point, I think I will come on Wednesday early afternoon and I'll review that NXT special. So you're going to get two shows on Wednesday, one in the early afternoon, and then we'll come right back later that night, Wednesday, and we'll talk Dynamite. So I think the way we'll do the Wednesday afternoon show that we'll put out there, we'll go pretty much all over the place like we did tonight. And then by the time we get into Wednesday night and it's time to talk about Dynamite, we will just talk nothing but Dynamite and any wrestling related questions that you guys may have or whatnot. So that should be good. I'll put a poll up asking you guys what time would you like the Wednesday afternoon show for the NXT special. Sound off. It'll be on the community section on youtube.com/the RCWR show. Just click on the communities tab and vote that way. If you got up to this point, appreciate the love and support as always. Please, as you make your exit, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. When you do that, you really help push our content more out there and really help YouTube do their part and giving us more exposure. So do that. Appreciate you all. Hit the subscribe button as well. Get at me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Use the keywords, the RCWR show. By the way, real quick, I gotta look into Spreaker because Spreaker gave me a notification that after all these years, I now have to officially come out of pocket for a pro plan to be able to continue uploading episodes or even going live. So there's going to be a delay for the next day or so as I try to figure out what's the best package I want to go with that'll continue to give me all my analytics, things of that nature. So for those of you that's going to be looking for the audio version of tonight's show and even Tuesday's show, have a little bit of patience. I should have it up probably Wednesday. I'll try to see if I can do it Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening. All right. Be safe. Be kind to one another, y'all. And I'll see you next go round. Y'all take care. Peace.